Yo, 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 yo. It's been a while since I released a Future Bounce track, and you guys have been asking for it endlessly. But today is the day, and today I released a track called Gun. You might notice that my studio is a little bit different, and that is because this is my kitchen table because I'm selling everything so I can move out. By the time you're watching this video, this will be basically the last video you'll see of me in this view because the new Jay Eskar era is on the way. I'm moving out of this place. We're going out. We're moving to another city, and we're going to try out this music thing somewhere else. I am very excited to show you guys how this song was made, where it came from, etc. So yes, this song was released today, and if you have not heard the drop yet, this is how it sounds like. It's crazy, bro. I think it's actually one of my best Future Bounce tracks ever. And I gotta be honest, I made it over 2 years ago. And I made it because I got some vocal scent, which I don't have anymore, and which I'm not gonna show you guys either anymore. But it all started thanks to those vocals. And it took me so long to release because when I first got those vocals sent, they didn't tell me what the deal was until I made instrumental for it. And I felt like this instrumental was crazy good, but that was just me. The vocalist thought otherwise, I think. I really wanted to release this one, to be honest. Like I dreamed about this song endlessly. I desired to release this song so much, and it finally happened. First, because I thought Future Bounce was kind of dying, which, let's be honest, genres never die. It doesn't matter what genre you're really making, to be honest, as long as it's a good song for you. If you like it, then it's gonna connect with someone else, someone out there, and that's exactly why I'm releasing it. So this track basically started getting delayed over and over and over again. I sent it to labels, nobody wanted it. I tried some vocals, it didn't quite work because I was just so used to the other vocals. So I kept on trying stuff over and over again, and then there was this specific time where I showed it to some of my friends at a studio, and my friends were like, bro, that shit is really good. So what I did was, you know what, I'm just gonna use some fucking splice vocal, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I'm just gonna release it. Also, I made an Instagram post with it to see if you guys would like this song, because of course it's Future Bounce, and even though you guys might think it's a dead genre, it's still, I believe, a good song. And I think that's why I'm releasing it right now, because it is a good song no matter the genre, and I'm not releasing it with a label, so I'm not feeling any pressure whether it does extremely well on TikTok. Like I am gonna be making some content or whatever, but I don't care if it doesn't do the best out there because it's all up to me, So I found some vocals on Splice, which I don't have on this project because this is an older project. Just so you guys know, I used to use Windows. For some reason, I lost the files where I have the new vocals. I don't know where I put them, but I do have everything with instrumentals, okay? But just so you know, the vocal is from Splice. It's a simple vocal, and I just added a vocoder on top of it, and that's it. Like, the vocal, there's nothing special about it, okay? So how did this song started? Once again, it started off with some vocals, and with the vocals, I made this chords. This sound like this. And that's it. Like, I repeat this over and over again. I also loaded up a piano on this, which is a BPS Avenger piano, actually. Sounds like this. This thing is enormous, bro. It's covering my whole screen. Let me make it smaller. It's crazy, bro. This plugin is the reason why this song exists. I actually bought BPS Avenger years ago when it was first released because I thought it was like the best plugin, and I haven't used it lately, to be honest. I sort of forgot about it, but I'm thinking I should start using it again. But basically, yeah, I'm using some piano. Which I think sounds really good. It has a lot of transients though, like a really hard attack, to be honest. But of course, it has the synth delay on top. Without any synths on the back, sounds like this. And then with the synths, why is it dying? Like, chill out. Back then, I used to use this plugin called Magic Stereo, which was this really easy way to make anything stereo, but I no longer have it, especially because I'm on Mac, and then I'm switching everything. I don't know. I just haven't fully made the switch, to be honest, but this is how I make any sound wider super easily and free. Open Ozone Imager 2, open up the width, and click Sterilize. There you go. Before, after, simple, but it works very well. And basically, yeah, I made this piano wider and I just used a single synth below it, which I think it's also, no, it's actually not. I was gonna say, I think it's also a Avenger, but it's not. It's actually just a synth that I made. Simple synth, just 2 waves. The second wave has unison and there's a filter on it, so it doesn't have any high frequencies basically, but it also has an effector, some bit crushing, but you can't hear the bit crushing because there's a low pass filter here somewhere here, and it's slowly opening as the track goes on. And then we can hear something more cooler here. Yeah, when I had the vocals at first, if you're watching this video and you're really enjoying the song and the project, check out store.jayeskar.com where you can download the FLP. This specific FLP that I'm showing you guys. Yes, you can download the FLP. It's out now, only at store.jayeskar.com. Go check it out. When I first had the vocals, there was this part where na 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 na. If you remember that, and I figured I should make some chords that go with it rhythmically. So this is sort of playing with the rhythm of the vocal, which I don't have anymore. Basically, the second or the build-up kind of thing is a more complex version of the first part, but really what's happening here is there's more notes. Really, it's just making some rhythm happening. So I'm not doing any weird chord change. I'm keeping everything simple. Chord progression repeats over and over again, and it also repeats here over and over again. The only difference on the build-up kind of part is that the piano goes higher in octaves, creating some sort of progression. Remember, a great way to make your tracks feel like they're progressing, like you're building tension, is switch octaves on some of the synths that you're using. That's what I'm doing with the piano. So it starts like this. And then it goes up. Of course, there are way more layers happening, and that is first the bass, sounds like this. Simple bass. A lot of phasing happening on this bass. Guess what? BPS Avenger. This was a time again where VPS Avenger was barely released, and I was like, I gotta use this, for everything. So I was using it for pretty much everything, to be honest. And I tried adding some other basses, I remember. But I kept everything at the same speed. When you put everything together, it starts sounding a little bit more magical, I guess. Wait, when you put everything together? But wait, okay, what's happening behind that? I'm using a lead in the back that sort of follows the drop melody, but also follows the chords in the breaks, because at the end of the day, they're almost the same thing. Sounds like this. Wait, you can barely hear it. Sounds like this. If you're wondering, this lead is actually from my pack, Jay Eskar Silent One Sound Bank, which I made years ago. I still use it. And I mean, years ago, it was pretty much new when I was making this song, but it's called Lead Kinetic. And the magic about this is that it has a ton of reverb. That's basically why it sounds like it sounds. And the reverb is actually Endless Smile all the way up. When you play it with, let's say, the bass, you play everything together, you get something like this. There's actually some extra things happening on the breaks, which I think are important. They're super basic though, but it's a clap, the exact same clap I'm using the drop, just louder. And I'm using some hi-hats too, well as a sort of impact. I'm doing this throughout the whole song, really. I'm not changing any sound. And just so you guys know, I get a lot of questions about this, by the way. Should I use different white noises and everything? Like, save your time, bro. Find a good sweep or a good white noise effect and just use it throughout your whole song. And if you want to, use it on all of your songs, to be honest. Don't break your head, because I feel like effects are not as important. They're just there to help you keep energy, help you do some transitions, etc. But they're not real musical elements. So don't break your head around them. Like, just find one that sounds good, bro. Don't overcomplicate shit, okay? I'm using the same impact again and again. And I'm using some risers, like a bunch of them. Back then, like years ago, I used to use so many effects or like so many different things. But still, this project's a little bit organized, to be honest. I mean, considering it was made 4 years ago. So, also a sub drop. I'm using some cashmere long fills with a filter, of course. It doesn't sound the same as always. Like this. And also the drop clap. Sub drop. Really cool. But when you put everything together, really, there's not many things happening here. Like, I'm not using some crazy filters. I might add some endless smile to make everything a little bit wider before the drop. I'm also making everything mono before the drop, as you can see here with the master separation tool. And I'm also getting rid of some of the volume, if I'm not wrong, somewhere with the master volume. But besides that, like, the breaks are so basic, and I feel like that's the power of having good vocal. Like, you can just focus on writing some chords, maybe a small melody that can go around it. But when you have some really good vocals, and instrumentals don't need to be overproduced. Like, yeah, I think this was a point in my career where I was understanding that I didn't need to do too much to my projects, you know, that I just needed to do what needed to be done. It is actually, I feel like it's harder to make simple music that sounds good than very complex music that sounds good, because I believe that one of the hardest things to do as a musician nowadays is making something simple sound good, sound big, sound extraordinary. I think Skrillex is the best at that. Like, I think he's crazy. He probably has like 5 sounds only at a time, but he makes those 5 sounds sound enormous. So I've been trying to get better at making simple things that sound better, you know? I'm not adding 20 different layers on the lead like I did before. Although you'll see that at this point, like 3 years ago, I was using a couple layers on things. So I'm going to show you that in the drop right now. This instrumental is super simple because it was meant to have vocals on top. And I gotta be honest, this project was like 5 to 6 different projects because I was trying to make different melodies. This is one of the first things that I did. I actually tried making a drop that was only the same bass note. And it sounded like this. I think it sounds really cool too. Let's listen to it. I think it sounds really anthemic, to be honest. I think it sounds really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I really love the bass. I gotta be honest. I love the bass. I love how the bass sounds like. And let's start off with that, okay? How did I make the bass? The bass is basically following the same exact chord progression, or the same progression as the chords on the breaks, okay? Sounds like this. Without any sidechain, it sounds like this. And yeah, that's what's happening to this bass. Like, let me show you real quick. So this bass is made of a sub, of course. Sounds like this. This one. So the sub is the sub I use for pretty much everything since years ago. It's called Sub Actual. You can find it on some of my presets, on my preset packs. What I like about it is that it has a click. Oh. Which you can change. It's on my packs, actually, my Serum sound bank, I think, the Future of House bank. If you want to check it out, if you want to get that sub. As you guys know, you can download the FLP. It's going to be linked in the description at store.jayeskar.com, okay? So check it out if you want this sub or any of this basses. The way this bass works is it has one bass, which is the sub. It has a mid bass. It has a mid bass covering mid frequencies. And then we have a high bass, sort of, and it's adding a ton of really sharp notes. That's how it sounds like. But basically what I did was I made the mid bass sounds like this. If I remove the filter, it sounds like this. Without any effects, let me show you how it sounds like. Sounds like this. Bro, I should make, bro. I should make a future house song with this. That's crazy. But anyways, I'm using that bass and I'm using this one. And this is giving the bass line grittiness. I don't know. That specific sound sounds like it's biting, basically. But they're sort of following the same envelope. Over here, making it talk. They're super similar, but when you put all together... And I think something that's also very special about this track is the drums, okay? Then some claps. And actually, 4 claps. If you're watching this video, just know that you can download the FLP of this song at store.jayeskar.com. You can completely go in the project and learn about the process of making my song. Check it out, link's gonna be in the description. Sounds like this. I think it might be overkill, but I used 4 claps and they sound like this. And a background clap, which gives so much energy. It's crazy. And then we introduce some claps, which sound really, really cool. Sound like this. Okay, so this claps, for example, it's 3 claps. One of them is making something, the other ones are not, so they can help each other. Okay, that's what layering works. I love doing this before. I would layer everything and it would sound really cool. So before, actually, first clap, second clap, third clap. Almost like white noise. So when you play all 3, when you play it together with the kick, and everything else, sounds like this. Then we have some effects, of course. We have some impacts, sounds like this. Then another one, and another one, then another one. When you play all 3, listen to this. Wait. Let me show you everything else. Okay, so again, once we play everything with the bass, I think with just the bass, this could be considered a drop. I don't know. Listen to this. And the leads, oh boy. They're crazy. I think they're beautiful. When you play everything together, this is how the leads sound like. We're gonna go through them, of course, but I want to show you how they sound before, okay? Sound like this. I gotta be honest, if you got a really, really good ear, you'll notice that it doesn't sound exactly the same as the release. And that's because I had a different master for this project, okay? Like I went into another project and I mastered it a little bit differently. And that was years ago. The version that I released and that you're listening to, it's a project I released, comes from a render of one of my old computers, basically. And I tried taking it back, but I couldn't. And so the closest that I could get was using a sausage fattener, a 1%, Fab Filter Pro Q, and a God particle. That's the only thing that we're using for the master on this. And I'm pushing some of the highs because it's so bright. This track is so bright. That's basically what I'm doing to the master on this one. But what happens to the leads? Like, what's the magic of this? I think the magic on this leads is this specifically, which sounds like this. And why does it sound like that? Because of Saturn. If I remove Saturn, it sounds like this. It's a simple pluck from BPS Avenger. You can see here. But the magic comes when you use Saturn. So I'm using an extremely distorted, full drive. Basically, this distortion is creating everything about this lead, to be honest. Without any effect, sounds like this. Super simple. With it, it sounds like this. And the other magical aspect about this lead is I'm using Pro R to make it sound wider, but in a really, really small space. This is a great technique to add a layer that just feels huge, to be honest. Add a reverb, remove all of the decay, and just find a room that sounds sweet for it. You know, it's a clean, bright, close, short space, spacious kind of reverb, sort of a convolver kind of thing. Without it, it sounds like this. I mean, then we give it space. And we distort it. I think it's magical. I think it's really, really cool. But after that, remember, I made this song 3 years ago almost. And back then, I used to add so many layers. So I went ahead and added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. First of all, first one sounds like this. And it's actually, I believe, is a... And this preset actually comes from my presets, my Jay Eskar Serum sound bank. It's actually called Lead Drop the Gun. That's one of the presets. I think I'm using another one here. Yeah, this one's called 8-bit Lead. And when you play all two together, it sounds like this. This one's adding a little bit of attack to the sound. When you play both. Then we got a third sound, which is another VPS Avenger sound. I think it's just a pluck. Sounds like this. As you can hear, this one's one octave higher, adding a ton of energy to the sounds. When you play all two, they kind of sound trash, to be honest. They kind of sound like trash. And I believe this sound, the 16th one, that's a little bit too much low. I would do something like that. But when you add it to this sound, which is the main sound and what we really care about, we don't care if one of the sounds sound bad by itself. Like, we don't care. We care about the end result. If you're making a sound and you're like, oh, like right now, I was playing those 3 sounds and it's like, they sound like trash. But when you play it with the main sound, they add something to it. So yeah, that's basically what we did to this, okay? Sounds like this. My headphones are dying, bro. And I'm glad I bought new ones, okay? But So this is how it sounds like. So this is how the leads sound like with bass and all of the drums that we added. But wait, that's not done yet, okay? I remember years ago when I was making Future Bounce, I always thought, how can I make Future Bounce sound even better? And I found chords. So I started adding chords. And they sound like this. Lead 1. Then I add another piano. As you can hear, this piano is super dry. There's no reverb happening, but it might not sound like much, but when you play this chords with the leads, I love this so freaking much, bro. Then when you play the whole drop, and it sounds like... And after this, what happened? I gotta say, not much, to be honest. I added another layer of a sound. It sounds really high. And the way I made this sound, I'm pretty sure it's Silent One, and I'm pretty sure it's a preset from one of my packs, my Jay Eskar Silent One sound bank. And I'm using this preset called The Whistle. You can find both my Serum sound bank and also my Silent One sound bank at store.jayeskar.com if you want to go check it out. They're really good, both of them, to be honest. But in this case, I'm only using one sound from the Silent One pack. Of course, if you want to get only this specific sounds, I suggest you get the FLP. It's going to be at store.jayeskar.com. It's just the gun FLP. Okay, so yeah. I mean, after you add a second layer, you got your second drum pretty much. Now, is there anything special happening with these leads? Are you making them sound cooler by doing anything specific? Yes, I am. I'm doing the exact same thing I did with Echoes of Me months ago on a track 3 years ago. What did I do? I added glides, okay? And the way I'm adding glides to these notes is by adding an extra note in here. And as you can see, all of these notes are a little bit offbeat. Some of them, they're not specifically on time. I'm moving some of them just to make them sound a little bit more real. Okay, so they're not always exactly on beat, okay? But it's just a tiny bit, okay? It's just a tiny bit. And I'm adding this glides to some of the note. If you add a glide to every single note, it will sound cheesy and it will sound boring. You listening to a glide will be something that you're so used to that you're just going to find boring. So if you want something to stand out, don't do it all the time, okay? Just use it once or twice throughout your song, and that's going to create some surprising feature. But yeah, when you want to look at the piano roll, this is how it looks like. I added more glides in here. It's like possibly like 6 on this. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I counted it. And then like 5 here, I'm guessing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But anyways, what's happening afterwards? For the breaks, the second part I did was just hold on to the same note. And I added some extra harps. You play together. But it's basically the same thing, okay? And then the drop hit pretty much the same. Okay. All right. So we pretty much went throughout the whole project now. And I'm hoping you guys found it interesting. I'm hoping you guys learned something from the track. I know it's almost the same techniques I do years ago. I've been using the same basics of getting rid of the lows, getting rid of the highs whenever I need to, distorting, using sidechain. Like the ideas are always sort of the same, but see that as an opportunity for you to learn the basics so you can focus on what really matters. You can always learn more about mixing. You can always learn more about songwriting and everything. But if you're watching this video, my suggestion is pay a little bit more attention to your songwriting than your mixing. Don't completely forget your mixing, of course, but pay attention to your songwriting a little bit more than everything else. People will never forget about a good song, but people can easily forget a bad mixing. So focus on making good music. Your mixes can suck and people can still enjoy your songs. Don't forget about mixing correctly, of course, but focus more on making good melodies, making good drums, making good rhythm, making music that feels unique and real and emotional and exciting. I think that's what I'm learning from this. Also, if you want to check the project, it's going to be on store.jayeskar.com. You can download the project. I'm really excited for you guys to check it out, for you guys to try stuff. So check out Gun on the description. Link's going to be there so you can stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you want. And also the FLP is going to be at store.jayeskar.com. Go check it out. I'm not sure if I can say this yet, but I've got a song coming up on NCS the 20th of August. And I'm so excited about it, bro. It's in 20 days, okay? So stay tuned for that. I can't give you guys more detail yet, but new music in 20 days, guys. I'm so freaking excited. I just want to scream and tell the world that I'm releasing a new song, but I can't